Hi guys, so I'm here today to do my Pretty Little Liars review. So in the beginning, I felt bad for Hannah because I'm just like, why is everybody ganging up on her just because Hannah hid the journal or the diary, whatever? And I mean, I understand why they're upset, but at the same time, I'm like, is it really that? I mean, I don't know. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but not really. And you know, M is the first one to read the book, and I'm just like, I hope she doesn't get hurt even more because, you know, she already has issues with Allie and their whole relationship thing, and I'm like, this sucks for Emily, kind of, if it hurts her even more. And I don't know if it was just me, but I was really confused about, you know, when Allie comes into Emily's bedroom and talks to her. I'm like, so is this real or what? I mean, because we know Allie's alive, but at the same time, you know, now I just have the mindset that every time they see Allie, it's real now. But at the same time, that seemed more of like a dream, and I'm like, it's a little confusing. And then it goes to Spoby. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much I love Spoby, like, since everyone else has broken up, sadly. Spoby is now my #1 couple, which it's always been at the top, but I'm just saying. I just thought Spencer was so cute because she traced his little chin dimple, and then they started making out, and I'm like, Spoby is so cute. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but can you believe Toby went from like this total creeper guy who nobody wanted to talk to, and now he's this hot guy who like Spencer's makes out with like every single day of her life. And yeah, and then, you know, Arya with the whole pin conversation, I was like, it doesn't make sense for you to say like a specific pin. Like, I don't know, if it was me, I would have just said, oh yeah, it's just a stupid pin. Like you don't say a specific pin, it just gives too much away. And I'm like, that's so weird. And you know, Hannah is acting really weird about the diary, and I'm just like, why is she so picky about who gets to read it next? Like, you're all gonna get to read it, so why does it matter? And I felt bad for Hannah because they're all like, so how's Caleb? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, stop asking about him. And they broke up because she thinks he's cheating when really Miranda's just dead. And if you watch Ravenswood, you know the story. But yeah, I'm just like, please stop asking about Caleb. Like, it's just, no, it's not okay. And Ezra, like, this is another shocking thing. Like, he went from, oh, sweet Mr. Fitz, to this total creeper who's totally dangerous now. And I'm just like, he's so creepy just watching them through the freaking school window. Which, by the way, you're watching them through the school window. Like, how does nobody see you and be like, hey, Mr. Fitz is watching you? Like, what? How do you not say something? Or how do people not see that? And I thought it was creepy that Ezra had that recording of Allie. I'm like, how, when, and where did he get that? Like, what? And I didn't remember Travis, if that's his name. I think that's his name. I don't remember the guy Hannah was talking to, so I'm like, who the heck is this guy? And I thought it was funny because, you know, Mrs. De Laurentiis is over Spencer's house, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Spencer thinks her dad is cheating with her. And I'm just like, yeah, that's not gonna go well if that's true. And you know, Toby's and Spencer's dad is going along with Toby's mom's accident thing, and I'm like, are you seriously? How come? I don't know. All the adults in this town are super creepy. Like, honestly, the only honest parents in this town are probably Arya's mom and Emily's parents. Because Emily's parents have nothing to do with anything. Like, they're really innocent people. And oh my gosh, I can't believe Spencer went to the brew and she, you know, she was like, to Mrs. De Laurentiis, she like just told her off, and I'm like, I can't believe Spencer just did that. Like, oh my gosh. Like, her dad is going to be hearing about this, and like, that's gonna be bad. And then, you know, Ezra goes to Hannah's house to say, just to talk about Hannah's grades. Like, yeah, sure, that's what you want to talk about. But teachers, they don't make house calls. Like, what the heck? Why are you showing up at my house? Like, if I was Hannah's mom, I'd be like, okay, nice to know. No, you can't come in. Like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, okay, if you want to talk to me about Hannah's grades, we can set up a teacher-parent meeting at the school, or we can have a phone conversation. Like, you don't just show up at my house. Like, that's creepy. And probably totally against the rules. And oh my gosh, I can't believe she invited him in. And of course, she goes to go take a phone call, and what does he do? He sneaks up to Hannah's room. I'm like, great. He's probably gonna steal something. Ugh. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I didn't buy like a I Heart Mr. Fitz shirt, because those were so cute. But nope, nope. I couldn't wear it anymore because I don't love Mr. Fitz. He's just creepy. And you know, Hannah's still acting weird about the diary, and I'm like, why doesn't she want them to read it? And you know, Ezra's just snooping around Hannah's room, and I'm like, are you being serious right now? Like, you're really looking through her stuff. And then he gets on her computer, and I'm like, great. Like, just creepy. And of course, Emily's car stops working when they're driving. I don't like, I don't know how else they would get someplace, but their cars just keep breaking down, and I'm like, what the heck? They just need to get their car inspected right before they use it every single day, because every time they want to take a trip out by the woods, their car breaks down. Like, oh my gosh. And Spencer's so smart. She's like Nancy Drew, except she's Spencer Hastings, detective. And you know, she finds out, or she figures out, that Hannah's the one who's been ripping pages out of the diary, and I'm like, oh, you know, and she's just like, so Hannah, you read this whole book and you didn't notice anything? And Hannah's just like, nope. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you totally just gave yourself out. And you know, since their car stops working, Arya's like, oh, I know this place, and the place is Ezra's cabin, of course. And I'm like, he's probably waiting there to kill you guys, probably like booby trapped, and I don't know, I'm just like, that is not the best idea. Which you know, they do eventually go there, of course. And I'm just like, well, I hope they find this secret door at least. Like, hopefully they see that. Oh, like, I hate the fact that Ezra's so shady now. And he was just, you know, after he leaves Hannah's house, I'm like, he's not going to the cabin, is he? And he is going to the cabin, and I'm like, great. They're there, and I don't know. And just like, does he know that they're at the cabin? Is that why he's going? Or like, I don't know. I knew it wasn't a good idea for them to go to Ezra's cabin. Like, what? You don't just bring somebody to a creepy place in the middle of the woods. It was raining, so I guess. But, you know, Hannah finally reveals why she's been so sketchy about the diary, and it's because Allie wrote about the fact that she hooked up with Mike, which I'm just like, what? I thought that was so funny. I'm like, Hannah, you really think they're gonna hate you because you hooked up with Mike like 3 years ago? Like, nobody cares about that anymore. Yeah, you know, and they also find out that, you know, Caleb left Hannah. I'm just like, that's like 2 big revealing moments of Hannah's life, and I'm like, that sucks. And you know, and then she runs out of the house, and I'm like, are you stupid or are you stupid? Like, I know you're emotional, but who the heck goes outside in the middle of nowhere by yourself? And I'm so glad that Emily followed her, because I'm like, great. Because I don't understand why these girls run away. Like, I don't understand why they run away by themselves. Like, you need to grab a friend and run away. Like, I know you want to be alone, but you can't be alone because you have a crazy psycho killer coming after you. So, you know, I wouldn't advise that you be alone. And yeah, and you know, Spence and Emily, they get locked in the closet thingy. Not Emily, Arya, sorry. And I'm just like, great. I knew that was gonna happen. Like, oh my gosh, one should have went into the closet, the other should have stayed out there. Like, you know you're being tracked by a psycho killer, don't you think? Like, you should know when to split up by now. You should know when to stay apart by now. You should know when one should stay in one room and one should stay in the other. Like, ugh. Or maybe he's just that sneaky. I don't know. And of course, and I was just like, of course Allie's book is gone now. Like, of course. Like, they should just start keeping the things with them. Like, I don't understand why it's not on them at all times. Because every time they have something valuable, they always lose it to A. Like, oh my gosh. And I thought it was funny how when Travis was knocking on the door, they all grabbed weapons. Like, they grabbed the fire pit thing and, like, I don't know, whatever they could find. I'm just like, Oh, don't they look like a cute group of pretty little hunters? And I felt bad that Hannah was crying. I'm like, yeah, she's had a pretty rough day today. And oh my gosh, it made me so mad when you know, Arya was like, I love you to Ezra, and I'm like, I wish you would stop saying that. Like, stop talking to him. Like, stop talking to him and stop saying I love you. Like, ew, don't love him. Like, just please don't. And oh my gosh, you know, of course, like I said, Spence's dad finds out that she talked to Mrs. D, and they get in a fight, and Spence leaves. And I thought, you know, she was just gonna leave to let off a little steam, but no, she's actually packed a bag, and now she's going to stay with Toby for however long, until she feels ready to come back home. And I'm just like, oh, you were serious about leaving? Like, oh my gosh, you packed a bag and everything. And oh my gosh, you know, now that Ezra, or A, whatever, they didn't show their face, has the journal, and you know, since Emily came up with that whole color coding thing, which was clever by the way, I'm just like, great. Now Ezra really does have all the, like, he knows your weaknesses. He knows that Emily and Allie hooked up. He knows that Hannah had an eating problem or whatever. Like, oh my gosh. Like, you know everything now, which really sucks. And plus he knows even more about Arya, so he can just use that to his advantage and be like, oh, I didn't realize this situation would put you in an uncomfortable place. Here, let me hold you while I steal something more valuable out of your pocket. I'm so upset. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's A. I'm so depressed. I just wish everything was back to normal. I'm sad. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Toodles!